Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone. I am Waseem from Lahore, Pakistan. We are yet again back with an exciting and informative series of interviews, starting with one of the most dynamic men in ONPASSIVE. You all must have seen him on webinars and events. A man who is qualified, possesses ample knowledge, and carry a vision of bringing a change in the lives of people. He is medical doctor. He is leadership council member from United States. We are lucky enough to get his learning and experiences. He is none other than Dr. Bill Williams from USA. Sir, we cordially welcome you are here, sir. How are you, sir?
Nice. Good to see you, Waseem. Always good to connect with the leaders of other countries. Pakistan has a very good leader in you, and I'm glad to be part of the team that can speak today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, let's start the question. This is general question, not technical question. So actually, we want to know about yourself, about your opinion, rather than ONPASSIVE. Of course, we'll talk about ONPASSIVE, but we want to know from this session about you. So my first question is, are you originally from USA? Because my previous guests, they live in USA and Canada, but they are from another country. So
yeah, I was born in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, and lived most of my life in the south of the United States. Okay. I lived in Georgia most of my life, and I've been here for the last 45 years as I practice dentistry. My family is all from this part of the world. Okay. And originally we were from England and Scotland. Okay. But that was probably 300 years ago that they came over to the United States. One of the interesting things about me is my family carries some good history with the United States. My name is William Blunt Williams, of course, and my ancestor was William Williams, who signed the Declaration of Independence back in 1776.
Okay, great, sir, great, sir. Sir, we want to know about your family. Can you tell me about your family, sir?
Yeah, not just the old family from England, but my new family is connected to England also. My wife and I have been married for 44 years, and she's a native of Georgia. We have two sons, Will and Tyler, and Will married a lady from the UK. So we have been traveling back and forth to the United Kingdom, Great Britain for the last 7 years. As they got married, had children, lived over there. Recently, they did move to the United States, however, so they're here. My other son, Tyler, lives in Nashville, Tennessee, where he's a music, and he is a speaker, a coach. Wow. And so those two sons, and I have two grandchildren.
Great, sir. Great, sir. Sir, excellent. Sir, would you like to introduce yourself? We know you are a doctor, you are a medical doctor. Where have you been working throughout these years? What is your expertise? I'm talking about your professional experience.
Yeah, I've been a dentist for 46 years. That's my main calling. As I started university back in 1968, finished in 71, went to dental college and finished in 1975, and I've been in practice ever since that time until this year, which is the year that I retired. Retirement is something I never thought I would enjoy as much as I have. This has been a fun time to get up and not have to go to work. So I'm telling everybody that's in ONPASSIVE, if your future is like my present, you've got something to look forward to, because retirement can be very exciting when you have something like ONPASSIVE in your pocket. So when I was in dentistry, I started teaching early in 1979. I joined a study club, and we became experts in TMJ and orthodontics and head and neck pain. And so I started teaching around the world in 1981. I taught in Toronto, Canada for the first time. And since that time, I've traveled to Osaka, Japan, Florence, Italy, Havana, Cuba, Hanoi, Vietnam. I've taught those places and in between. And so there's been a major part of my career is not just being a practicing dentist, but also being a lecturer, a clinician. I've authored several books that were bestsellers on Amazon in the field of dental business. And so I used to feel like I should teach technical courses in orthodontics and TMJ and reconstruction. But as I got older, I got more interested in marketing, management, leadership, communication. And those are the things that I focused on more over the last 20 years. And now that I've found ONPASSIVE, I've got a place that I can apply all that information and knowledge. And it's a good place to be because I've expanded the base of people I can talk to, my circle of influence. It used to be just a small group. If you talk about dentists being a small group, now it can be professionals of any field and even people that are looking to expand their income, which is everybody in the world. So that's kind of where I've come from. And I taught the masterminds, I taught the courses to dentists. I used to travel around back in the old days with a box of slides, a trunk full, and I'd carry the trunk on the airplane with a carousel projector and do a 2-day presentation in different hotels around the US and Canada. Today, we just get on O-Connect. As soon as we get it going, we'll be getting on O-Connect and doing the same thing without leaving our room, which will be much better.
Wow, sir. Wow, sir. It's excellent. You are versatile. You have a lot experience. You have done too much job, sir. Excellent, sir. Sir, my next question is, we would like to know about your journey with ONPASSIVE, including when and how did you join, how it has changed your personal and professional life.
I joined because I had a concept of multiple sources of income for myself and my family. And so I had my fingers in many pies. I was a dentist, I was an author, I was a teacher. And I also had interest in a wellness company, which had products that were sold internationally. And so as I was developing my international sales team, I met a dentist in Dublin, Ireland named Anne O'Donnell. And Anne said, I'm interested in this wellness, but also you might be interested in something I'm doing called ONPASSIVE, an IT marketing business. So she introduced it to me as a marketing business that would help build my wellness team. And I said, that's so natural. I think I'll join. No problem. Let's do it. And as soon as I found out about it, that was March of 2020. As soon as I found out about it, I started reading and looking at the webinars and saw Ash, saw Mike Ellis, saw the usual characters who were teaching in 2020. And that was a small group of people at that time. Not too many were on the webinars and teaching. It was Marty, Mike, and Dan. It was Ash, and not too many others showed up to teach. And so as I started looking at the material that they were teaching, I go, this is not just about marketing. And Ash had already started to expand his vision and start to say that we're going from 1 or 2 products to 20 products. We're going to go to many more countries. We're going to go everywhere with this. And so I got interested in it so much that over the last 2 years, I've dropped my emphasis on the wellness company, the dental practice, the mastermind that I was teaching. I really focused 100% now on just ONPASSIVE because I believe it's got more future, it's got more potential than anything that I had done in the past. I think it's going to be better than even being a medicine or a dental practitioner. I think it's got more potential, not just because I'm retired from those fields, but if you're a young guy and you have ONPASSIVE on your side, you'll be able to have a lot more income than if you didn't have it. So I think that's why I really am excited for it. And because of that, I extended my interest in teaching other people about ONPASSIVE. And I started out by doing some work with OBLES and mission work, talking about what OBLES could do with the missions. And I kind of gave an example of what I had done over the years, going to Kenya. And then I started speaking to different groups in Singapore and Somalia and Israel. And so as I got more involved, I found that it was easy to find a niche where people were interested to learn something. And so I wanted to teach not so much about what ONPASSIVE does, as much as I wanted to teach about what ONPASSIVE could do for people in the future. You know, I wanted to see the long-term vision effects of being an ONPASSIVE being the thing that I would focus on. And as you know, as you look at all the lecturers and the teachers out there, everybody has their flavor, they have their style. And so I thought it was important to find a niche within all the numbers of people teaching that was different. And I think we've reached the point as we teach where there's a good option for people to hear different ways of approach and different teaching of how people see ONPASSIVE. And so there's room for everybody. As Ash says, everybody can keep rising up. Marty always says, there's never enough people at the top. There's always room for more. And it's true. We've encouraged leaders to come along and step up. We've encouraged people to become the next leader in their area, in their country, so that we expand our base of leaders. Instead of having 5, 12, or 30, we have 200, 300, or 400 leaders.
Excellent, sir. Excellent, sir. Sir, great journey. You have good heart, and you are doing great job, sir. I congratulate you. You are doing best, sir. My next question is, how do you see ONPASSIVE after launch? How is it going to impact the lives of founders, customers, and businesses all around the world?
ONPASSIVE is really at a certain place right now that it's ready to impact the lives of the founders and the customers in a strong way. Initially, the opportunity is for giving people hope. You know, the hope is what people need when they don't have any. And so right now ONPASSIVE, especially in many third world countries where there's not as much opportunity, I think the hope is number one. And I went to Kenya back in the year 2001, and the first visit there, they didn't know if I would come back. They didn't know if I would be a recurring event as a mission team. But when I came back in 2002, the thing that they said, the leaders in the group of the government said, you know, the thing that you did is you didn't just come once and not come back. You came and stayed. You came and made another trip. And you gave the people hope. And when you give hope, it means everybody's spirits gets raised and everybody has something to look forward to. And I've always noticed that if I have something on the calendar that I can look forward to, then my spirits are always higher and my vision is allowed to soar rather than to kind of get stuck in the mud. And so it's initially important that we give hope. And that's what we've done so far as we build the founder base. Secondly, we give the concept of opportunity to people. Not only do you have hope that it might get to be a better life, but you have the opportunity shown before you of how it's going to happen. And that's kind of what's happening right now, is the opportunity is being explained and developed. And we keep teaching day after day, here's the opportunity, step into it. We're trying to encourage people to wake up and come into the future with your eyes open rather than sleeping through, you know, the rest of your life. And so that's where we are. We're having a hard time waking all the people up right now. A lot of people are still sleeping. Even those that have signed in and are members, some of them are just still sleeping. But the opportunity is there for them. They know it and they're waiting for the thing to pop open. The next thing we're looking for is reality. What's the reality? That's when the launch happens, when people actually see the products. And so we're very close to reality of there are the products. You can see them not in beta, but in the full-fledged developed product. And when we do that, that's when the spirits are going to fly straight up. People are going to very much be impressed when they see it. That's our hope. That's our wish. And when we see the big product, the release of all the products, and we see that they're as good as promised, that's when the dam breaks, the tsunami starts to flow, you know. We'll see moderate success at first. For those people, everybody will have some moderate success. Then we'll see some that have major success. And a few that worked hard, that put some work in for the last 3 years, 4 years, they're going to have unbelievable success that will be beyond their expectations. Now it's the success of those few that's going to fuel the fire, because everyone should know that whatever the best people can earn, succeeding people can earn the same thing if they will get out and work. So there's a group of people who are going to want to work hard and succeed and make it grow faster, bigger, better. And then there's going to be others who are going to wait and say, I'll let ONPASSIVE do the whole thing for me. And if that's what they want, that's what they'll do. They'll let the done for you, the automated process work, and they'll take their growth steady, slow, and they'll get to where they want to get. But those who want to build faster, they're going to put in a lot of effort in the first 2 years, and they're going to have massive income for the rest of their life and generations to come based on the work that you do right now. So that's pretty much what I think about what's going to happen in the next couple of months. I'm hoping that we have a total shift of belief. When people see the real products, then the belief system is going to just jump sky high, and all the naysayers and all the doubters will be totally convinced. All you have to do is see it. If you see it once, you know it's going to happen.
Okay, sir. Great, sir. Excellent, sir. You explained very well. And I was listening you, I want to listen to you more, but time is short, so we go to the next question. Sir, we all know our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufare, the genius, the mastermind. So
Yeah.
what is your opinion about him? So this is the simple question, but very difficult to explain, because every person has own point of view. Every person explain own way. So we want to know from you.
Well, everybody has an opinion about Ash, right? And I think 99.9% of the people really have a good opinion.
Sir,
They really
100%,
do appreciate.
100%, not 99%.
Well, I don't know the 1% or 1/2 of 1%. I don't know those people, but I would say probably the guys who own the competitor companies are going to be worried.
And we can
Everybody who's a founder
yes,
has a good opinion, I'm sure.
yes.
My first call from Ash in the summer of 2020 was really a landmark event. I asked him where we're going on ONPASSIVE, and he shared me what the long-term goals are. And so he won me over right there when he started talking about his vision and where they're going, where we're going. And, you know, I was impressed at that first time. It was enough to catch my interest, and I've been with a lot of big companies. I've been with a lot of big business people over my 70 years in business. And, you know, I've hung around billionaires before. I've hung around many multimillionaires. And so he is a special character. He's somebody that immediately understood where he wants to take this whole thing. Then in October of 2020, we did a series of 8 detailed interviews that I was able to put together and put out for all the ONPASSIVE viewers to see, the founders. But you know what? Back then, there were only about 70 or 80,000 people in ONPASSIVE. And so the number of people that got to see them firsthand were a fairly small group. And so over the couple of years, I put them back out a couple of times. But I think it may be important that everybody has the idea that they could look at these initial interviews that were done I had about 5 or 6 hours I spent with Ash on the interviews, and those are on the YouTube channel, Dr. Bill Williams ONPASSIVE, if you want to see them. And it's worth looking at his earlier days of when he's really given some insights. And what you'll find as you look at all that is nothing has changed. Everything he said back then is still what he says now. He does speak philosophically a lot of times, and he does keep some secrets that he doesn't want to spill the beans to the public. But I would tell you this, he definitely is somebody who's a great interview and has a lot of fun. He's got a sense of humor, and everybody knows about his sense of humor. Then I had an opportunity to meet with him down in Orlando in March of 2021. Dr. Kinora Shaw and I met with him, and we talked and went to his office. Really found out a lot more about who he is and what he wants to do. He's just a regular guy, it turns out. He's got a sense of presence. You know, he's with you when he's with you. And then we all met in Boston in March of 2022, a year later, with 30 other leaders from ONPASSIVE. Now, that was an interesting gathering because that was the first time most of the people in the room had been able to interact with Ash. And so I enjoyed sitting in the background watching as all the people put together their best foot forward to talk to Ash and interact with him. And it was quite a fun group. We had times together with Ash. We had times together with one another, Jeffrey Morlock and Susie McCrae and Julie and all the people that were there. Daryl, everybody was having a good time. And the way Ash interacted with each person was personal, and he was looking to make everyone a star. He was looking to make everyone feel comfortable. So he's really real in person, just like he is online, if you're watching him. I think he's got a lot of characteristics and a lot of personality traits that you'll appreciate. He's one of the great thinkers of the world. He's a risk taker. He's a humanitarian. You know, he's an Epicurean. He really loves his food and knows a lot about food. He's an innovator, and he's very generous, as we all know. A total family man. He's a positive thinker, and best of all, he's a good friend to all he meets. He's fair. He's balanced. He's focused, very focused. Potentially, he's a winner, I think, of the Nobel Peace Prize for what he's going to bring to the world. Maybe he'll be a winner of the Economics Prize if this economic engine he's created ONPASSIVE creates what we think it's going to create. So I'm voting for him for Man's Time of the Year. I'm voting for him for anything he runs for. You know, if he wants to be a dog catcher, I'll vote for him. If he wants to be president, I'll vote for him. So that's pretty much what I think about Ash.
Excellent, sir. Excellent, sir. Sir, you have met with Ash. I think it was an excellent experience with you. Last time I have taken interview of Mr. Gushminder Dillon and Jeffrey Morlock and other leaders. Say they told me how was the experience with with other leaders and Mr. Ash. Excellent. I wish I could there. So, sir, you talk about 99.9% ratio, and we all know there is a negativity around, and you know, ONPASSIVE is a positive moment. How we can remove negativity around in ONPASSIVE? You know, some founders. So, what do you suggest?
I don't put up with negativity myself. I feel like Ash feels that there's no place for it. And so I tend to want to shove it to the side and not listen to it. As leaders, sometimes you have to listen with an open ear, but I tend not to buy into it for the most part. I pretty much just ignore the source. So that's my suggestion is if you're somebody that's having to deal with negativity is to focus on the positive, ignore the negative, shut down those legally who threaten us with lies in public. Of course, as Ash has already initiated. And to me, the leaders can change the narrative with positive messaging. Positive messaging does a lot of good. And we should do more of the positive messaging to stay away from the negative. I don't allow negative people to gain control. That's the thing. If I see somebody doing something that way, I'll pretty much try to take away their access to the social media that they're on, delete them out quickly. People who try to gain an audience and have others vote with them to try to push their negative agenda, I pretty much discourage that kind of activity.
Excellent, sir. You are doing good, sir. And sir, Mr. Ash told multiple times ONPASSIVE will give value to founders and customers. Can you elaborate this?
Yeah, values is the prime product of ONPASSIVE. And GE used to have a slogan that progress is our most important product. Well, for ONPASSIVE, value is our most important product. So value really comes from savings on price, time, and effort. You got all three of those that are valuable. And so automation and the done-for-you concept will make business success available to so many more, because if they don't have any high-tech skills, they don't have computer skills, they can still do the ONPASSIVE business. And so the value is more people could come into this business than any other business that's ever existed. Think about how many more people can sell ONPASSIVE when there's nothing that you have to do other than join. That's pretty impressive. So you also have time savings on the automated processes, and the income production will allow people that used to have to work 2 or 3 jobs to make a living, to make ends meet. Now, with the automatic income production coming right out of our CATMO system, you're going to have people can work 1 job instead of 2, 3, or maybe eventually they'll have to not even work for anybody else other than have their own passive business once they get mature. I want people to understand out there that you can't quit your job as soon as ONPASSIVE starts to launch, because you may not have your income growing ONPASSIVE for several years. It may take that long to reach an income level that you're happy with. But in some places, the income level may rise fast enough to where you quit your job or do it a lot more pleasantly within 6 months or a year, depending on your particular country, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing the results all around the world of people having handsome incomes and enjoy the lifestyle. You'll have more family time, more recreation time, and that's a huge value. If you're talking about living life and enjoying life, having time away from work, more with family, will make most people happy. We do know there's a small minority of people who are more happy at work than they are in their home. And for those people, I'm sorry, you'd have to spend more time at home. You don't have to. Maybe you'll be able to spend more time on a boat, on an island, away from everybody. You can enjoy your solitary life that way.
Excellent, sir. Excellent, sir. Sir, we all know ONPASSIVE, all products has own importance. And it's like a company. What is your favorite product and why you like it?
Okay, well, let's talk about the one I want to see the most and what I think I'll have the most fun with. There's going to be a lot of products that are probably already spoken about by other people, right? And so I chose one that nobody else is talking about. I listened to several of your interviews with other stars of ONPASSIVE, Charles, Osung, Engineer Mike, different folk. And I noticed they'll pick out one that their most favorite. And I know nobody's going to pick this one, but I'm going to have fun with Oh My Life. And that's because I think it may be the perfect diary, the perfect scrapbook to capture a portal to capture all my writings, my photos, my presentations, my books. I post my audio recording, MP3s, the videos that I have, videos that go back as far as when my children were playing football as a 5- and 6-year-old in the Pee Wee leagues, are the baseball Little League. I put all my YouTube videos there, my documents, my certificates, and it'll have a place for my calendar of events, my trips. I've got mission trips, 15 of them around the world, and I can put all of them in there. The connections I made and how I connect to people, those are all going to be valuable to my family generations from now. And so I'll be able to sort that all out and make an heirloom for my great-grandchildren. And I think that'll be a treasure for my family. It's a diary of all diaries. And if you're old as I am, 70 or 72, and you've had a life full of fun and excitement, you don't have one box full of memorabilia. I've got stacks and stacks of things I've saved, press clippings, articles I've written, and they're just in boxes. And so my son said, we're going to get rid of all this stuff when you go. I'm not going to keep all this stuff. So I have to put it somewhere where it can't be thrown away. And so what Oh My Life will be a digital storage spot for all my stuff where I can catalog it and pass it on to future generations who don't know me. Like my son knows me and thinks he doesn't need to know anymore, right? But my great-grandchildren might want to know about great-grandpa. So it's the perfect storage and save your life for another generation to learn who and what you are. The story of ONPASSIVE will be told in those days. In 100 years from now, they'll be wondering, how did this fortune start? And they'll know.
Excellent, sir. Sir, by coincidence, Oh My Life is my favorite product too, and I made a song to present Oh My Life, and and in this song I put my all my memory, my pictures in this video, so to present Oh My Life. If you allow me, I can show you. Can I share you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I'll put this video in Oh My Life. Keep it too.
Yes, sir. Wait a minute, sir. Let me. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Just tell me if your voice is not clear. Can you hear your voice?
Bravo. Nice.
Thank you very much. Actually, my purpose of this video to present all my life. So you can see my childhood pictures, my wedding pictures, my family, my father, and my friends, and on passive as well. So this is it was the little effort from my side. So I did this. So
As a good example of what's going to be possible, and people can take
yes,
ideas and just keep going. How far will it go? We don't know, because we don't know what's in Oh My Life yet.
yes,
Where will it gather its information from, and how will it be stored? And
yes.
all we know is that it's going to be wonderful.
Yes, this is my favorite product as well, and you are the first guest who gave the name of my life. So I'm very happy today. So we go to the next question, sir. Uh, one more product is OBLES. You know, very important products. How OBLES can impact the impact on human life?
Oh Bless is a favorite of everybody's, and it's been brought forward as a gift to mankind. And it's not just for us, it's for everybody in the world to share in the wealth and the passion that's helping others. And it'll spread from one to many. That's the thing about Oh Bless. It's going to spread to everyone. You know, we define our culture by what we do every day. And so we're focusing quite a bit on the culture of Oh Bless. We're defining it. Who ONPASSIVE is will be known by being Oh Bless. You know, we're basically going to give the world a view of ONPASSIVE through the lens of Oh Bless, and that's exciting. And I think it's a way to live out the great commandments, to love one another, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And Ash is a very spiritual fellow, and he wants to honor the commandments of really loving one another and not being judgmental among anybody. He's a unifier. He's a person who is generous. So Bless gives us the opportunity to do those things outright. With Bless, we'll be getting the training, and we'll be getting the income to lead a normal life away from the poverty that those who are in poverty, they'll have the advantage, and they'll have the ability to have opportunities in the days ahead. It's not just a handout that we're giving people with Oh Bless. We're giving them a hand up. And I think that came out clearly last month when Ash was talking. And we don't just want to be giving people free stuff, a one-time deal. We want to train them up to be self-sufficient. We want to help them out of the hole, but then we want to get them going and give them wheels. You know, we don't want them stuck in the rut, but we don't want them to be stuck once we leave. We want them to be able to propel themselves along with their own economic recovery plan. You know, the great stimulus is ONPASSIVE, and it's because we create the ability to have income, not just the ability to be fed once and then forgotten. That's important. Teaching is just as important as helping. And so we have to teach people to be self-sufficient. We have to teach them to not stay in the stuck place. That's why Academy is really a key component, and that the CATMO vehicle is really the opportunity to be captured by the people who are the beneficiaries of Oh Bless. And if I could leave one word out that I think echoes what Ash wants us to do, is he wants us to teach people to fish, not just give them fishes.
Great, sir. Great, sir. Sir, we all know about ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE will impact on every department of life. If you remember, uh, I conducted a webinar regarding health. How the topic was how ONPASSIVE can improve health department. So I again ask you same question. So you told about this topic very well in my previous webinar. So that was the last webinar I conducted. I never conducted a webinar again because I started the interview. So that's why I finished my webinars. But next coming 14th August, Pakistan Independence Day, we are going to do a mega webinar. I would like to invite you. You join this webinar. Link will provided. So, sir, the question is, how ONPASSIVE can improve health department?
Well, health is it's a big topic. I think health is a bigger topic than most people realize if they're not in the business of delivering health. It seems different from one side as it is when you're inside it. But to me, health can be improved first by education, and Academy is going to be number one in the utilization of spreading the education about health to everybody. The combination of uniting the Universal School of Health with ONPASSIVE, the Top Doctor Group, the Doctors United, that Dr. Kiona Shaw and I are part of, I think that's a big step in the direction of helping increase the education opportunities around the world. We'll bring doctors information that's current all around the world through Academy. We'll bring doctors information through the Universal School of Health if they want to join that. And it'll filter down to the person on the street. Our classes can be taken by anybody and not just those who are doctors. And so you'll have information being shared by nurses, dental hygienists, all kinds of people. And so the more we do together, the better it'll be, the stronger will be the health initiatives in all of ONPASSIVE. If ONPASSIVE is going to make a big dent in the health departments around the world, it's basically going to be through first education and then for some support to be generated through providing services on mission basis. But, missions are only a drop in the bucket compared to the need that's available. You really don't change people's lives with missions. You basically, you get fires started with missions. That's what we found is when we go on missions, you do 1 week of work and then you have to start a fire that glows by growth in the local people where you have been. And so as we did our missions in Kenya, for instance, we go for 2 weeks a year for 10 years. And eventually they started a hospital. We built the hospital. Eventually they staffed it and they started having a hospital in a rural area. And so it was like we started the fire with a small little flame and it blew into a bigger flame and more people came to that area. When we started the clinic, there were 3 stores in this one little village and a whole bunch of people lived in the woods around it, but there were only 3 little stores. By the end of 10 years, there were 50 stores in the village and there were hotels and butcheries and restaurants. All kinds of things were going on as far as commerce goes. They were all built around that medical clinic. And so, healthcare improves when you have an intention to build up facilities. And so it's really related to facilities, and that takes income and money. And we'll be talking about that actually tomorrow when we have some of our discussions with the next webinar that I'm part of. Tomorrow at 2:00, there'll be a discussion on OBLESS and how to increase the health in different areas of the world. The second thing that OBLESS will do is with the needy and the impoverished will be to have selected projects chosen that will benefit the communities and groups that represent specific issues in health, like water purification and better air, disease prevention, disease treatment, nutrition, food supply, sanitation, and prevention. So as each of these areas gets a champion, and that's the key to anybody's success is having champions. Somebody's got to be wanting to be in charge of a project that does something good in a community, and then you can put money behind it, you can put effort behind it. If you have somebody who wants better water, you have to connect to the people who can bring you technology to drill wells or to put in a water purification system. So it's going to take expertise and money and desire. And so it all starts with the person on the ground wanting to do something and form a project, which it can be put into oblasts, and then they have to recruit people to come to their village from inside the country or even outside the country, which then it becomes a mission team, or it becomes a business. You can actually hire businesses to come in and drill water wells, for instance, like we've done in the past. And those people travel all over putting wells in wherever people pay them. So it may be that you have to pay people for certain services. And that's one of the things going forward that ONPASSIVE will be able to do, is hire the right people to do the technical jobs that aren't available locally.
Great, sir. Great, sir. Excellent, sir. Sir, in my opinion, health department is huge, and ONPASSIVE will impact every product will impact on health department. Like we can say O mail, O staff, O connect, O academy. Every product we can relate with health department. So it's huge, sir. So it's you explained very well, sir. Thank you very much, sir. My next question is, we all have seen the massive marketing campaign ran in Dubai and on Burj Khalifa. What do you think about the impact it has left on overall standing of ONPASSIVE? And did you feel any kind of change in terms of people coming and asking about the company?
Marketing has always been one of my passions. One of the things that I've taught dentists around the world. Marketing is what can make the big difference. You know, when I talk about the 5 things that make a difference, you know, one of the big of the 5 was marketing. And so it's a critical part. And, you know, after mindset and facility and your team, marketing comes right in there with the rest of them. And I think you can't get away from marketing if you want to be a big, huge, successful business. And luckily, that's our CEO, Ashmafar's forte. He is the marketing genius, and that's why we joined him in the first place. So, you know, the thing he did with the Burj Khalifa was totally amazing. I had no clue what it was going to be. That was a surprise even to me. We've seen massive marketing in Dubai and with the Burj. I think that the impact of the top marketing going to the top where your ears will pop, that campaign was pretty ingenious. And to have an office at the top of the world pretty much sums it up as to what Ash's vision is. He will not settle for second place. And if you've got a leader who doesn't want to settle for second place, he's a good person to tag along with and follow, because you'll end up in first place with him. So that's a good place to be for everyone. I think we're select and we're set apart and we are dynamic and we're determined to succeed based on his compound marketing approach. So the compound marketing is good to see. I've believed it all along, is that you want to be seen all the time, everywhere. And that came from my mentor, J. Conrad Levinson, who wrote the guerrilla marketing concept, came up with many of the icons of marketing, like the Pillsbury Doughboy and the Marlboro Man. So if you want to be seen everywhere and be seen all the time, you're Ash Mafara. That's who you are, because that's the way he's playing the game. Nobody's ever done anything more impressive to me than what happened in Dubai. That was the singular most impressive thing I've seen as far as marketing goes for a single company. So I found that there are many in the USA, to finish up answering your question, there are many people in the United States who are not aware of much that's going on outside the United States. And so Dubai to them is not a place they know about. The Burj Khalifa certainly is not something they'd ever heard about. It depends on what part of the world you live in as to whether you've heard of these, and it's a big deal. And so I was kind of interested to recognize that most of the other places in the world know a lot more about Dubai and the Burj Khalifa than they do in the United States, because it's not a destination place for most United States tourists. But everywhere else in the world, it's a big destination place. So I think in the future, it's going to expand because of ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE will put more people into Dubai than any other country in the world, other than Emirates Airlines, because, you know, they carry the people. But other than that,
Yes.
I think ONPASSIVE is going to increase the growth in Dubai as much as any other country there is.
Yes, you are right, sir. Dubai is an international business hub, and it was the genius decision from Mr. Hashim Fareh, who started the branding from Dubai. I appreciate him. So, sir, my next question is: there are many physical events are coming in next coming months. Recently, as we all know, events in Germany and UK and Ireland conducted. So, what do you want to say about these events? What is the importance of these events?
Well, so far, well done. That's the main word I would have, is holding the public events is the logical next step in every area. When people gather, it builds rapport, it creates team spirit, national pride, actually, a sense of accomplishment in ONPASSIVE. The founders have been and are largely now sitting in isolation for the last 3 years. They've been sitting and needing a place to go. They need something to do, people to hang around with, and that's important. If they don't have a way to express themselves, you know, you become depressed. And so this is a great opportunity for people to get together and to meet other people, because it's in the interaction with other people that you get your excitement reinforced. So it's a good thing, and I think we need a change of pace. The meeting in Germany and UK were sparks, along with the meetings that happened in Boston and Los Angeles and Worcester, Massachusetts, and Switzerland. There've been several. And in Somalia, we had one 2 weeks ago. And of course, there's going to be one in Singapore next week or so. So everybody is expanding. I know you've had meetings in Pakistan. Everybody around the world is starting to have meetings. And I've had one here in Atlanta with our small group of leaders in Atlanta. It wasn't open to everybody in Atlanta, but it was meant to establish who's who in Atlanta. And so we had 20, I invited 8 and 20 showed up. So that tells you people want to be at those meetings. And so in the future, you know, if we invite 100, we probably have 300 show up. And that's the way it should be. We want to expand our base, expand our team, and expand the public knowledge with these meetings and open them up to guests, not just to founders. So I think we're poised for some big things coming up with public meetings very soon.
Great, sir. Excellent, sir. Sir, you know, there were going to conduct events in India, and I was supposed to conduct event in Pakistan with Indian events. So, but due to some reason, event was cancelled or postponed. But I was ready. Our Pakistani founders were ready. I still have banner and pufflers in my house, so we are ready to next any queue for any event. So I hope, inshallah, we will do in future soon. So, sir, last question. As we all know, foundership has been closed forever. So, what do you see next phase in coming month?
Next phase, you know, we're in the phase right now that is, while the new registrations were halted in June of 22, June 22 off 22, there's been a concerted effort to convert now many of the pending accounts to full founder accounts. That's the phase I call it right now. It's the finishing of the pending accounts. Ash wishes to have a number of founders in the group to be finalized and not have just pending people hanging out. And so it's his wish to have the full founder positions known. And so he's pushing hard for people to finish buying the ones that they want and to get their friends in, more importantly, their relatives and friends in, to get those extra pending accounts and not let them be sitting out and be eventually washed away. So he wishes to have the number of founders finalized. That's key. That's been the summer's work really so far in terms of what we're supposed to do, is to finish getting those pending accounts put away. We still have work to do on that. That's the key. I mean, there are many who have been offered pending accounts, but they didn't pay for them. They said they wanted them, but they didn't pay for them. And so it's always true that people say they want to have something and they don't end up following through. And there are a lot of people that I've been talking to recently who have pending accounts that they have available to others. Right now, I've got 76 that have been spoken for but not paid. And so I've told all 76 of those people that I've reopened the door for people to take advantage of getting those put in somebody who wants them's hand. And so the open door is there. Many leaders have many accounts. And so in just a few days or weeks, Ash has said he'll close the door and wash those all away. So I'm encouraging everybody to find somebody that they want to get a pending account from and get one or two more and finish them up. So once we complete the technical requirements to open to the public, we go to the next phase. And I think that could be the next few weeks when we really find that the delay has been ended. And I think that delay is really related to the financial sector of transaction input and output, where we have the bottleneck. And I think Ash indicated that he's getting the transaction correct so that in every country we'll have a way to have money coming in and going out without any hiccups. Multiple accounts being set up with different providers to handle that money transfer. So that's kind of where I think we are. The team building will become more important once the financial transactions start to occur. We'll have our old wallets set up pretty soon. And when the old wallets come, you know that we're fixing to go big. So that's the thing that everybody should be looking for, is when they ask you to set up your old wallet, because until then, the money can't flow. And the wallet will be a key, and the financial transactions will be a key. When it happens, when we do have the wallets and the finances are ready to flow, that means team building can become important again, and that you'll be able to reach out to people in a way that will bring in the resellers and the customers. If you're one who wants to grow your business in a faster way than ONPASSIVE is going to grow it automatically, then you'll be looking for resellers to bring in who will be able to push the fast growth of your business 100 or 1,000 times faster than if you didn't do anything at all. And so resellers are going to actively work to grow ONPASSIVE, and that's going to be big for the people who are founders, if you can get resellers to join your business. So the whole thing is CAPMO leads to TF, total freedom in both time and money, and lifestyle, and the ability to have benevolence will be both very possible. So I'm encouraging people to put in a little extra work in the first few months, year of ONPASSIVE's launch, so that their teams build fast and that they'll get to their lifestyle goals quicker and their benevolence goals much sooner.
Great, sir. You explained very well. In last, sir, any message for founders, especially Pakistani founders? You want to say something?
Yeah, an impromptu message to founders is always probably the most important one, because it's the one you didn't think of until you got asked the question. And so you pull it out of midair. And I think the message I have to share is this. This is the first day of the rest of your life, and whatever you did in the past doesn't really matter. It's what you do in the future that will be the big timestamp on your life. And so if you've lived a life in the past that was not up to your expectations, you have a chance to remake the next 5 years, 10 years. So you move from maybe success to significance. You might have been a success in whatever you were doing in life, but were you significant? And Ash really has put the point to us clearly that we want to leave a legacy beyond our own life and do something that is significant to help others, help the world, help one person, help one community, but eventually you're going to help one nation. Your nation is going to prosper because of what you do. And that is moving from success as an individual to significance as an individual when you can impact nations. So that's my word today. And I know that if you take it to heart, then you'll be very significant to a lot of people doing what you do.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll see you in next session in any webinar or interview session. So thank you very much. We are so honored to win it. Bye-bye, sir.
Thank you, Waseem. Excellent to be part of your team, and good luck to all of those watching in Pakistan and India and Bangladesh and around the world.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.